This is not a normal alert. In America, we rarely see a sitting president openly trying to expand executive powers on a blatantly partisan basis, yet right now that's exactly what's happening. Former President Donald Trump is moving to deploy the National Guard into cities like Portland, Oregon, and to escalate federal action in Chicago. These aren't responses to multi-day riots or nationwide blackouts. These are targeted moves against Democratic-led cities, justified by claims of protests against ICE. The troops aren't yet on the ground, but the legal and political stakes are already enormous. Portland's leadership has filed suit, arguing the president lacks authority to call in the Guard. This is a developing story, and it cuts straight to the heart of state versus federal power. This week began with the National Guard directed to Portland in what Trump calls a full-force effort to deal with immigration protests. But the city is pushing back fast, citing state power over deployment. In California, a similar skirmish has already played out. And in Chicago, ICE agents in tactical gear have been spotted walking downtown, sparking accusations of intimidation rather than legitimate patrols. Local lawmakers say agents are making arrests based on looks alone, something they believe federal officers now feel empowered to do. The Democratic governor's response has been blunt. If federal agents march down busy streets in another country, harassing civilians and demanding their papers, we would call it authoritarianism. Why, she asks, should it be any different here at home? This comparison matters because Americans often look abroad with judgment while ignoring similar behavior in their own cities. What's at stake now is more than one policy fight. It's the baseline of how federal power can be used. There's a wider context, and it's crucial. This isn't just about the threat and deployment of troops. It's about a coordinated federal power grab. Another flashpoint emerged last week when Trump made what some legal analysts call Watergate-Level confessions about wanting to indict his political enemies, evidence or not, and getting the Department of Justice to start the process. The most visible case is the rushed indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. According to multiple legal experts, including some conservatives, the case is exceptionally weak. It's not a slam dunk. It may not even survive in court. Yet the administration moved ahead anyway. That matters because it shows a pattern. The use of law enforcement not for justice, but for revenge. And this pattern doesn't stop at indictments. Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill, now the Democratic nominee for governor in New Jersey, has accused the Trump administration of illegally releasing her unredacted military personnel records, including her Social Security number and her parents' home address, to an ally of her opponent's campaign. According to Sherrill, the ally then shopped the documents around to the press even after a journalist warned they were not public information. She says this was no mistake. It was intentional. Her story shows how sensitive federal data can be weaponized. The National Archives normally takes months or even a year to process such requests. Yet, she says, her records were handed over just days after a request, without her signature and without proper authorization. A technician even accessed the VA database to pull her Social Security number, she alleges, then sent the files to her opponent's ally. The Navy was never notified. If true, this is not just a violation of privacy. It's a blueprint for how federal power could be turned against any political opponent. Sherrill warns New Jersey voters, if this can be done to a sitting member of Congress and a veteran, imagine what can be done to ordinary citizens. Each of these incidents, the troop deployments, the partisan indictments, the leaking of private records, would be a major scandal on its own. Together, they form a pattern of normalized authoritarian behavior. It's like Watergate happening every Tuesday. Outrage fatigue sets in, and the line of what's acceptable keeps moving. This isn't about left versus right. It is about whether Americans want to live in a country where the government can use their data, their laws, and even their own military against them. Trump has shown he's willing to blow past the limits of presidential power. By stacking abuse after abuse, he makes it seem like just politics when a sitting president behaves like a strongman. Legal experts warn the Comey case may be thrown out for what AS called vindictive prosecution. Even some Trump defense lawyers describe the process as unconstitutional, and yet the administration presses on. If another country's leader did this, the U.S. would call it what it is. All eyes are now on the courts, on Congress, and on state leaders. The next 48 hours could decide whether Portland's legal challenge halts the National Guard deployment. The coming weeks will determine whether the Comey indictment collapses under scrutiny. And the timeline of the Sherrill Records investigation may reveal how far this network of power actually goes. This is a breaking, game-changing moment for American politics. It's not just about Trump or about one city. It's about the future of federal authority, privacy, and democracy itself. If the public tunes out, the guardrails can disappear before anyone notices. We'll keep cutting through the noise with exclusive analysis and updates. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. What do you think about the federal power grab we're seeing? Do you think the courts will stop it? Your voice matters, and we'll be here to track every new development.